When I was getting into watching films, wherever I looked, whoever I asked, The Godfather popped up. From casual film viewers to pretentious film students, everybody mentioned it. What film could possibly live up to that colossal praise? Only The Godfather. It's hard to really sum up what the movie is, as it's many things, but I think at its core it's a movie about relationships between people. When you strip down any plot point or scene in the movie, it will most likely be about the characters relating or not relating to each other. Very rarely does the movie really focus on the plot. When a deal needs to be done, we have a meeting. When something goes wrong, we have a fight. When two characters fall in love, we have a wedding. This technique of using human interaction to capture the viewer was fantastic. It created an extremely strong, well-developed and brilliantly written cast of characters. Another key to this was the number of characters. Sure, you can create a group of 4 or 5 characters and focus on them to invest the viewer, but The Godfather chooses to multiply that by 10, creating a world for the viewer to enter, not just the group. This is not an easy thing to do. Most movies fail at doing 2 or 3 characters well enough, while The Godfather nails character after character. This aspect alone makes the movie fantastic. One of the most important additions to The Godfather's character-driven narrative was the actors that brought those characters to life. Seriously, I would have a very hard time finding a cast that had as much talent as The Godfather. Some of my all-time favourite roles come from this movie. Of course, Brando gave us one of the most memorable performances in all of film, and Al Pacino perfectly captured Michael Corleone, a character I consider to be one of the best ever written. But it's not all characters. The story-driven narrative deserves credit too. It's a very complex movie. There's a lot of characters, time movements and location changes. What this movie needed was good pacing. If it dragged out a section too long or focused on a section too little, it could have set the movie off completely. Like I said, it's a complex movie, so they had to be sure the viewer understood everything, while also not feeling too long. The movie is 3 hours long, but it barely feels a third of that. Due to its well-paced and positioned scenes, the movie easily slides through its story without any bumps. A fantastic narrative accomplishment. And now we can't talk about The Godfather without talking about the visuals. A combination of fantastic sets, well-picked locations and marvellous cinematography just glued all the narrative elements together. They really experimented when it came to the camera work. Some of the darker scenes just added an extra layer of intimidation to the characters. Everything in this movie had to feel real. It had to feel genuine for the viewer to be truly immersed, and they nailed this too. It was obvious that a tremendous amount of skill and effort went into picking every detail from this movie. From the hairstyles to the location choices, everything felt real. And of course there was the bold decision to have a number of the scenes in Italy. Now this was impressive. Obviously it ran the risk of upsetting the movie's flow, but it worked out fantastically. It introduced another level of authenticity and created some gorgeous locations. It became one of my favourite parts of the movie. The overall scale of everything in The Godfather was amazing. Everything from the smallest detail to the most important scene was done with such care and perfection. Narratively this movie is amazing, and the visuals step up to match it. Very few movies have tried so much and succeeded to an equal amount.